Life is not a fairy tale, and the truth is, there is only one person that can rescue you, and that person is you.
I know times are tough, and I know not every day is a good day, but always remember, you are beautiful, you are worthy, you are kind, and you mean something. If you don't think that you mean something to anybody, know you mean something to me.
I said I like it like that. I said I like it like that. Oh yeah, I like it like that.
Hello, and welcome to Topsy Turvy Dating Curvy. I'm Koo.
And I'm Nan.
And we are two ladies of a certain age, online dating, text messaging, and everything in between. How you doing, Nan?
I'm good. I'm peeling from our cruise, so I'm leaving flecks of DNA all over Worcester County.
Fantastic.
So bad. But yeah, I'm like flaking all over the place. My doctor, I had my physical yesterday, and my doctor, because I was itchy, and she's like, if you keep scratching, it's going to get infected, and then there's a whole different problem. I'm like, oh my God, simmer down.
Oh my goodness. Nan.
Yep.
There's a man in the room with us.
There's a man in the room, and we're trying not to acknowledge it. But yes,
we have a guest.
We have a guest. We have our brave and fearless
Be my guest. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm back.
You're back. So anybody who doesn't know, this is John. John is the founder of SLC 86 Selflove Club. He is my mentor. He is my life coach. And I am very proud to say he is also my friend. So,
yes, agreed. He was my life coach. He's my friend. And I check in with him every so often.
Life coach by appointment.
Yes. He's my life coach. Yep. Emergency basis by appointment.
Yes.
There's no consistency anymore, which is boo-hoo. But, look, that's the point of life coaching too, right? I mean, everybody, once we reach our journey, and some people's journeys take longer, and some people just want to continue to work at things, and other people just have isolated things to fix.
Yep.
So everybody's on their own.
We are so excited. I'm going to be honest. We have been waiting for this moment for quite some time.
Oh my God, you guys have to tell me about this experience.
Well, we will.
I've got questions too for you. Just saying.
Well, we got questions. We do.
We have a couple questions. But funny enough, Nan, we have an OK Cupid update, don't we?
We do. It's so interesting. So I didn't share the last few episodes. So OK Cupid guy actually sent me a text message the day before my birthday, as opposed to a phone conversation, saying that he had been wanting to tell me something for a bit and was seeing somebody else, but he still wanted to be friends. And so listen, we weren't exclusive or anything like that. So I'm not even mad. I wasn't mad, because what I want for people in the world, I want people to be happy. That's what I want. And so what I wasn't happy about was the fact, the form of communication in which he chose to let me know. And so I took the high road, and I said, I wish you and this person the best of luck. However, I was disappointed that you chose to text me as opposed to having a phone conversation, because I know that communication is important to you, as it is I. And he apologized, and I didn't acknowledge it. I said what I needed to say, and that was all well and good. And then Koo and I were on vacation together. We went to Bermuda on a cruise. Don't recommend Norwegian at all. But we found fun because we were together. We had a great time. We made fun. And interestingly, I got a text message just kind of stating some things. And I didn't answer it because I'm on vacation. And I came back. I think I acknowledged it. I don't know. Like 4 days later or something like that. I was just like, oh, that's great. Congratulations, or something like that. And suddenly, now we're turning into daily text messages. So we all know what happened, people. Him and this person didn't work out.
I just want to make it clear that I was all about the block it. Like, because he wasn't really saying anything. It
I
was
mean,
kind of like,
but you
it was
gotta,
kind of like,
you gotta think about the good though, a little bit here,
Yeah.
right? I
little
mean, the
bit.
guy
No,
could have
there's like,
ghosted
I don't
you.
have
He
any.
could have not said a word, which most people do.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
I mean, at least he was able to communicate, even though it was through text. And I will say that is pretty weak.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I give him a little bit of credit. You know, and it also depends on how deep you've been, how far you've gone too. You know, I mean,
Yeah, and like I said, it's like I'm not. There was nothing about it that, and I said that to you when I told you, I'm like, I'm not even mad. Like
No.
I'm not even mad. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed in how he chose to communicate that, and I verbalized that. And so now it's, we're up to this thing, and it's just like,
Yeah. Originally, when I told you to block him, is because what he was saying was like it was just like dead sentences.
yeah.
And I'm like, what is the point of all this?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
No.
but he's still communicating a bit with you.
He is still communicating, and we'll go into more detail and stuff, but that is the update. I am not cutting out early to go like on dates or anything like
Right.
with OK Cupid guys. So it's just I will say though that the experience of doing this experiment this season was for me fun, because I would have never even pursued OK Cupid guy due to distance. So, and I will say that, and I still stand by it, I have thoroughly enjoyed the conversations that we've had. I've enjoyed the time that we spent together, because this person, we were just able to have conversations, and they were so thought-provoking, and just like we were just able to have these really great conversations, unlike some of the other people that I've talked to online where, third text in, they're sending me dick pics. So
Right.
I've never gotten that from him ever. So, and I, hey, that's a win for me. So I feel like that the experiment, on at least on my end, worked. We had some kinks with yours, given that
we did
you
have some kinks.
Mm-hmm.
But in all honesty, the experiment was fine for me because, well, I didn't go that way, but I went another way. And just to do my final OK Cupid update, Person and I are chugging along.
Yeah.
And things are copacetic, and we are actually planning a cruise for September.
Well, clearly it won't be with Norwegians.
Clearly it will not be with Norwegian, but we are
sure it's a refundable ticket.
Right.
Thanks, John.
Yes.
Far way away.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of trust in
my God. I know. I won't lie. I said that to Nan the other day. I'm like, I'm a little like uneasy with making this plan for September, because in my head I'm like, are we going to be together in September?
That's where you just spend the money for the insurance.
That's when you
spend the money for the insurance.
You just go on a weekend trip and try that first to make sure, because if you get stuck on a boat with this person in room, I mean, there's no backing out.
I know. So I mention it, but I don't mention it to him, because he's the planner. He likes to plan all the vacations and stuff, and I'm fine with that, because and he's like, oh, I got it, and I'm like, okay. But at the same time, I'm not mentioning, because I know the closer we get, the tighter it gets. So I'm just like, am I really planning to go on vacation with this man in September?
Going to be interesting. I can't wait to hear all about it.
So it sounds like they both were successful in some ways.
Yes, they were. And I'm going to say, what I'm excited for is that I'm pretty sure that we notified people of this, but John wrote our profiles. We went in and we clicked off our likes and don't likes and things like that. But when they want you to describe us, we went to John and we're like, hey, we have a favor.
We need
help doing this thing. Can you write our profiles? And he did. So he sent my profile to Koo. He sent Koo's profile to me. So we uploaded it. And neither of us have any idea what is said in our profiles.
I know. I'm so excited to know what you said about me.
I'm excited too, because the only time you're allowed to go into OK Cupid was what Koo had me do. She's like, you need to read OK Cupid's profile just to see, and there were pictures and stuff like that, and let me know. And so when I went through that, I said, he's awfully far away. Like, that's a long way.
Plus, you had to go in to read what he and I had been talking about so that you could catch up and not be lost if he asked you something pertaining to a previous conversation.
And to be honest, people, this wasn't like weeks and weeks and weeks of conversations. This was
maybe about a month, 3 weeks.
Yep. So
something like that.
But so we are excited to hear about what John wrote about.
Are you excited to share with us?
I am, but I feel like we need to reflect on this journey before we should end with
that. Oh no, life coach showed up. Life coach showed up.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
The people need to hear more about the experience. I mean, you know, just in terms of reflection, going in, what were some of your concerns or fears or nightmares about not having the full control and relinquishing that control to the other person on your profile? So tell me about that.
I know Nan was probably scared because Nan likes control.
I'm not gonna lie, I was terrified. Because for me, I think it's much easier to say no than yes, and to go out on a limb. Just from past experiences, and talked about that yesterday in the Empower Hour, and about bringing in all this crap from previous relationships to someone that you don't even know, and so you're essentially blaming them. So essentially that's what I do, and I see it like I'll find any little fault to be like, no, we're not doing this. So I actually had to let that go and give it to Koo. And that was really the only thing I had a concern about, because I knew that Koo would take care of me. I'm wondering what Koo's going to say about what she had to go through, because what I'm already thinking, and Koo and I are twins, I can already think about what it is that she's going to say, which is why I started laughing when you started asking the question, because I'm dying to hear what Koo has to say.
So I knew right away that Nan was going to meet all the fun individuals that reach out to me. And I knew, and when we first started and I was giving her my absolute no's, she was a little like, this is a lot. Yeah. And I'm like, you'll understand once you start. And she did. Yeah. She understood why I had so many absolutely nots.
Yes.
And she said, this is hard. I said, yes, it's hard. Yeah. Because the men that come for me either are not in the realm of where I want to be male wise, or, you know, they're still playing, you know, I'm 50 and I'm down with it.
I'm 50, but I'm still gonna act and do pictures like I'm 20.
Yeah.
Which is
fascinating. I think one of the sentences I said was, if he's not down with 401k, skip him.
But so I actually had wondered if you had some concern, because I actually have this come up quite a bit with my friendships, because I am a practical joker and I joke around and I like to have fun, but I can be serious when I need to. And I remember a friend of mine, I was her maid of honor for her wedding, and she'd asked me to do a speech, and I was like, yeah, not a problem. Probably a week before the wedding, she calls me up and she's like, I love you and you're my friend. However, you're doing the speech. And I said, yeah, it's going to be great. And she's like, Nan, I have a lot of family and they're Italian Catholics. And I said to her, if there's ever a time in your life that I need you to trust me, I need you to trust me now.
Yeah.
And she's like, I do trust you. But I said, I just need you to trust me. And I did my speech and they were just like, like shocked. his best man was so flustered because they made me go first that he forgot his speech. So I was like, all right, I guess I did good. So
I wasn't scared. I had gone into dating for you as in what you needed.
Yeah.
So I really went in as your friend.
Yes.
And knowing the type of person that you needed, and it's like the balance for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I when I tell you OK Cupid guy, like I turned him away a few times, but I'm like, there was something, and I was like, this is the person that's going to match her.
Yeah.
And I knew it.
Yeah.
But I really, also while doing this podcast, I have learned things about you, as in, you tend to lead your relationships in logic.
Yeah.
And the reason that doesn't work with you
Yeah.
is because humans and emotional relationships are not logical. And you fight me on this.
Where I turn into Spock.
You fight me on this, but there is no logic in human emotion. So I wasn't worried. I had 86 that for you altogether. And I was really picking through men based on what I thought you needed.
Yeah. And I will say 100% that I will have you do this again. I will have you do this again.
That's a nice compliment. Thank you very much.
So, all right, sir, did we answer all those questions?
Yeah.
Is there anything?
Well, so now, like, what have you learned about each other? So what have you learned about Nan Koo through that, and pay close attention to those conditions that you set, meaning how you wanted to protect her or something. So just share with us a little bit about what you learned about you.
So what I learned
about, yeah.
So going in, I knew there were certain things I was going to disregard, just because I knew that they were Nan's wall. And that Nan and in conversation with her, Nan has had a habit of 86ing people for minor faults.
Yeah.
So there were certain things that I was like, well, I'll just ignore that because she doesn't know. Like the distance thing, I ignored it because I asked him about it and he didn't care.
Yeah.
So I knew that he was going to travel to you and that would be fine. And he was okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I from knowing you, and I know that you have had very big ups and downs with men.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that a lot of what you tell me is a lot of your protection, is your shield.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because I'm on the other side of that shield, I really get to know what you actually like wanted and what you needed from a man.
Yeah.
You like to tell me that you don't want to be told what to do.
Oh, no.
Right. But at the same time, you need that man that is going to allow you. You did with OK Cupid guy.
Yeah.
There were things about him that you relinquished control for. And I never think that's a bad thing in a relationship, as long as there's a balance of like, if I need to step up, I'm going to step up. So whereas when you talked to me and when you were talking about dating, you were like, I don't want a man that was, going to tell me. And okay, I'm just changing that.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Like I knew what Nan was afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was trying to prevent those same things from happening. But what we always say, if you kept getting it, the common denominator.
Yeah, it's you. Yeah, I'm the common denominator. So, so I think for me, what I really got out of doing this experiment was that my mindset was different. I would definitely bounce things off of Koo to be like, oh, is that kind of weird and stuff? So that was the nice thing. But honestly, I wasn't stressed about it. It was so bizarre. It wasn't like I was worrying constantly about stupid stuff. And it was just like this freeing. I was like, oh my God, this is like the most easiest thing I've ever done. And I think back to like oh my God, I made all that stuff so complicated and hard. And it was like, oh, it doesn't have to be. It's just like one of these things, like bebopping along. And that's what it is. And even though he still texts me and I'll respond, it's not like this urgency. If I see the text message, I'll get to it. It's not that I'm ghosting him. It's just like, I got stuff going on right now in my life. And that's just really not my priority. And it's okay. It's okay.
You'll get to him later.
Yeah, I'll get to it eventually, and I always do. It's just
why does now have now will
Doesn't
break
have
your
to be.
focus from what you're doing, and
Right.
it's not beneficial to anybody or productive.
No,
And to be
that's
frank with you, nobody really wants, somebody that's like that needy,
Right.
right?
No,
Because
exactly.
it could be read that way, and so forth. So it's like it's important to be chill and relaxed. But I think this experience, what it's done is it's allowed the two of you to share what your biggest challenges are through this whole journey, this podcast, this everything that you do here, and with others, because it's certainly relatable to many, 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 many people, the masses of people. And you have created a little experiment, what you allowed yourself to trust another person with your personal stuff. This is very personal. This isn't just watching my dog. Okay. Yeah. This is getting a little bit more personal than that.
Yeah.
And you relinquish control, but now what I need to know from you is, how do you now change what happens from here? So what's one of your biggest takeaways from this experiment and experience that you now will put in the forefront of your mind moving forward as you now regain independence and run your own profiles again, so to speak?
I think for me is like, it's not that hard. I made things way more complicated and hard on myself. And I think that I was doing that as a protective, like to protect myself. And really all it did was just kind of like make me not look sane. It was crazy when I think about it. And not that I'm like stalking people's houses and shit like that, because that's definitely not what I was doing. But it was just like this obsessive, I would obsess about it. Like, what did I do wrong? What did I say? Like everything about it. And now it's just, I don't obsess about that. And I do want to say that isn't just because we did this experiment. I think a lot of that has to do with the coaching and what I've taken on for myself in my life since 2020. And so there has definitely been some shifts in mindset that have been progressing right along. But I definitely feel like I learned a lot from this experiment. And then you say, when someone takes over your own profile, look, who's just going to take over my profile? And we will collaborate.
We will collaborate. So I'm going to go. For me and this experiment, it was a very different experience because of where I was. Yeah. So let's be honest. The two people in this room with me have been traveling through this situationship with me from the beginning. And there've been some bumps.
Yep.
And both of the people in this room have been there for me through the bumps. Mm-hmm. Now, here's what I learned from when we started the experiment was the first bump, was right after the first bump. And we all know I did not fare well with the first bump.
No.
Okay. So I wasn't doing well at all. So although I was still going along with the experiment, Nan and I actually had a conversation at the very beginning. I said, we have a huge problem. And she's like, what? I don't want to date. And I flat out and told her that. I said, I don't know what to do right now because we're in this. Mm-hmm. But if I'm being honest with you, I don't want to date.
Yep.
And she just said, okay, we're going to chug along. I'm still going to look. And in that time period, while I was kind of putting myself back together and putting my thoughts together, Nan and I opened and talked to you about my relationship stuff, which I really don't do with any of my friends. All of my friends are married.
Yeah.
So like me talking about my singleness doesn't work because they all think about it through a married point of view. Mm-hmm. And then in that process, filtered back, and we had conversations about Percy filtering back. So it was really like I wasn't doing it alone, like I wasn't maneuvering alone. Mm-hmm. And Nan, you really helped me make decisions, and you're still helping me. That's what we learned. Yeah. Discussing our relationships with each other has really brought somebody else's perspective into helping you figure out what you're going to do and not overreact or underreact.
Exactly.
Exactly. So wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you validated the importance of sharing?
Whatever, sir.
Stop it.
It's like he's trying to say that he was right.
I love to hear it. Come on, let me just say it.
All right.
Say
Fine. All right, wait. We're gonna whisper it though.
You were right.
Come on.
Here, let's give a golf clap. We're gonna golf clap you.
No, and yeah. I do. I think, are things perfect? No. And I tell Nan all that time, but I've been so calm through this situationship. Yeah. And
yep, I agree. I totally agree. It is I'm telling you. Yep.
I'm amazed at how nothing really like ruffles my feathers. Yep. And we just and he and I have good conversations. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with him. He's okay with me. And I'm not interested in like, I need to know what this is. I'm just enjoying my time right now.
And we actually talked about that. That was one of our podcast episodes. It's like, when do you go exclusive? And really all the data that we found was there's no set time. Like there's average, but really, honestly, it's really just based on the two people in that situationship to decide. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Oh, it's been 3 months. Why aren't you guys like clarifying? Well, because you don't want to. And I always nothing there it says you have to.
I always used to think that they were like couples had this conversation like we are official.
Yeah.
And this is the conversation. I no longer feel like I don't think that's an actual conversation anymore.
No, you know how the other person finds out they're in a relationship is when the relationship status changes on Facebook. What?
So, I mean, as I said, you two probably know the most about me and that other side of me. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, what I've learned through this experiment is like leaning on you. Like I'm mad at him. Ditto. Like he said this, what does it mean? Like doesn't mean anything.
So nice to just have that feedback. And I will also say that the universe works in mysterious ways. And I will say that it was ironic after you said I don't want to date, all the crap matches we were getting for you.
Yes.
Just started pouring in. It was crazy. So I think that everything happens for a reason and we don't know what that is, but you're in your situationship and you're happy. And that's really what it's about. I learned that I made things complicated and things like that. So yeah, we definitely got something out of this experiment.
I'm going to go ahead and give John his props. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
Ready.
So when person filtered back around, I will not lie and say, but your voice is probably the one I heard the most in my responses to him.
Yep. I agree.
Like I really did take you with me muddling through that. And they're like, what would John say?
And I'm going to say I did that. I'm going to say I was the same way. What would Coach do?
What would he say? What would he tell me to do? What would he want me to do?
Yep.
What would he tell me to do?
Yep. And so there is that. So even though you think that we don't listen and you want to strangle us sometimes, as you've told me in coaching, I do. I just got to process it a little bit, but I do. I do what you recommend. So
yeah, and I also think too, like, when we make, and this is just my own opinion, right? And you could share with me. So when somebody makes the decision to go on a dating app, right? That commitment to that also comes and breeds some anxiety to some degree, meaning that you're putting yourself out there and then you also are checking it frequently. You might be more sensitive to what the messages are coming because you're actually trying, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, because this wasn't your profile and you were running each other's, your relationship with the app and what you were doing wasn't so like
Yeah.
right here in your face 24/7. Like you could put it away, you could do what you needed to do, and that was it. So my question is like, how can you take this experience and that relationship you had with the app running each other's profile, and when it becomes your profile, how can you help yourself stay calm to this experience? Because I feel like a lot of the pressures and things that come out of dating are self-inflicted to some degree. Because when we think negatively, we manifest the negativity. When we constantly are thinking and overthinking things and taking things personally, in my opinion, we shouldn't even be there. We shouldn't even be on social media when we are in these situations and states of mind, because as we know, one post or one thing could be, or one message could be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
So as you move forward based on this learning, how are you going to put boundaries around you and this idea of dating or needing to find a partner, and make that not an experience that's a race or there's an urgency, but rather it's a journey to find the best person that fits you? Like, has that dynamic changed, or will it?
For me, it has, in that the person that I'm currently with, I'm not editing myself for him. And I've honestly never done that before in a relationship, where like, Jersey Koo, Silent Koo, Anxiety Koo, he has faced every version of me, and he just said, he's like, I got you. He's like, it's okay. Bratty Koo. Like, he has just been okay with it. And for me, the lesson here is that it for me, no matter what happens, it's perfectly okay for me to be 100% myself, because if the person is truly in it for me, they're just going to handle it. And I had a moment with him on one of the weekends we were away. My affirmations came, and I just kind of ran through them really quick. And he was with me. And about a half hour later, he asked me about one of my affirmations, and he said, "Why is that one of your affirmations?" And I said, because it, I have a background of where I didn't believe that. And he's like, "Why?" He's like, "You're so amazing." And his concern over my one affirmation and how it made him sad, I don't know, like, he's just made me realize that I don't have to be anything extra than I am. And going forward, I know I can get what I want, and I don't have to do like jump over canals and swim through rivers to get to a person that's just going to appreciate who I am. So that's the lesson I'm taking out of this situation for me.
Well, forget the guy. Okay, because he may not be here next year.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, with or without him, that's what she's saying. That's what I've learned. Like, it's not a race. Like, I think before it's like, ooh, somebody wants to go out with me, and now it's like,
yes, yep,
yeah, no.
Oh, I remember those days very clearly.
Very
clearly, and I also the need a man, 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 need a man.
No, but when
what do you need? No, what you need is your damn self is what you need.
Right.
Right. Yep.
And I wouldn't have actually learned that lesson without this situation. And I'm going to completely honest. I would not have learned that lesson without this situation. So that has changed me.
I think what for me has changed is that it's not that deep, and that it is amazing when I think about it, like how I was previous to this situation. And it's just, I made everything so hard. Sir knows that, because I would be like, And he's just like, leave it alone. Just do this. And I have that in my head. And it's like, it's actually such an exhilarating feeling to know that I can just be me and like you. I don't have to modify. And let me tell you, there are a lot of things that I have issues with. And I just got to be me. Yeah. I didn't have to like put a mask on and pretend. I could, and like this OK Cupid guy, I could actually say things to him and have a conversation with him and just be honest with it, where I'd be like, I don't think I can say that, because then it's going to think that this is like weird and he's going to go away. And now it's like, come or go, whatever. I'm still here. I'm still me. And I know what I deserve. And that's huge. And that's actually a really huge.
You know what? Oh, I gotta give him another prop. This sucks.
Damn it. Two and under a half hour.
I know. It's so ridiculous.
What are we propping now?
As you were sitting there talking, I just realized that a good portion of our program with Jay kind of just clicked into reality for us.
Yeah.
Through this process.
Yeah.
Like things Jay used to say to us. Mm-hmm. Or I mean, I'm assuming he probably said somewhat of the same things to you. Like he would say to me and I'd be like, but they didn't actually mean anything until they took effect. So I'll say that somehow in this part of my coaching lined up.
Yep. So, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I agree. I agree.
Are you ready?
I think
We're so ready.
All right. Yep. Are we going to have to try to guess who the profile is?
No,
that should be
got your name in it.
No,
it's not going to work.
Okay. But I know what your profile is, so I know it's not mine.
All right. So here's how we're going to do
true.
it. Here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to read it, and then I'll read yours first, Nan, and then I'll give you you respond to it before I go ahead and read Koo's.
Okay.
All right. Hello, world. My name is Nancy, but my friends all call me Nan. I grew up with a love for animals, and I followed this passion throughout my adulthood. I've been working as a veterinary nurse in the field of veterinary medicine for the last 2 decades. Over the years, I've had so many great experiences traveling the world and engaging with others. After spending the last 2 years focused on my own personal growth and development, I recently was certified to be a life coach to empower others towards making new meanings of their past experiences that often can be a drag on day-to-day lives. My ideal partner is goal-oriented and motivated, but also knows how to slow down, spend quality time, share experiences, and engage in conversations around unique interests. I never miss an opportunity to learn something new and try new things. That's my MO. I never let anyone or anything get in the way when I set my sights on a goal that I'm out to achieve. I cannot wait to hear from you. I look forward to what this online space has in store for me. As always, keeping it classy and massive.
Well, first off, holy cow, it is like Sir is in my head, but he's been in my head for 3 years. So it'd be 3 years in June. Crazy. I love it. I love it. And I'm going to tell you about OK Cupid guy. Goal orientated, loves just doing things. And OK Cupid guy is signed on to do a life coaching course based on conversations that we've had. He wants to be a life coach.
And you also said that you had good conversations with him.
Yes. Unbelievable conversations. That was just the thing. It was like, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I love it. I won't be changing that anytime soon.
Good. Well, we'll have to edit it just a little bit. Okay. But just it's perfectly fine and I love it.
Yep.
All right, Koo. Hello, friends. My name is Kumari, but you can call me Koo. I am a 45-year-old hardworking professional that cherishes the simple things in life. My ideal evening is grabbing a drink or a bite to eat with someone filled with laughter and great conversation. I thrive being with a partner who is independent, straightforward, knows what they want, and is honest about their intentions, especially in this online space. On the occasional evening and weekend, I enjoy singing karaoke, volunteering at my church, meeting my friends, spending time near the water, and exploring new sites to learn and grow. As I continue my personal growth and development journey, I am ready to receive all of the blessings that are in store for me here. I look forward to meeting you.
Oh my
that
God. John, that's so awesome.
right?
Now I'm going to start a business writing dating profiles.
I know. But the
Let's
thing
add it.
is,
Let's
that
add
was
it.
good.
No, John, that was really, oh my God. And it was sweet.
And
it
we
was
did
me.
say to
And
each
it was
other.
me.
Yeah, but we did say when I got her profile, she got me. I'm like, oh yeah, he nailed it. He did really good on yours.
No,
Yeah.
That was really, thank you, Jay. I love that.
Yeah, that was really good. Thank you.
I'll be using that one too in the
Yeah.
future. And just to be clear, person is independent, is not afraid to tell me where to go, how to get there, and put me in my place.
Yep.
Who knows what they want and is honest about their intentions, straightforward.
And he has been nothing but in my face with this is, and he's been honest. So I mean, especially on the when we got it going off the when we got it out of the gate. But I absolutely love that. Thank you. Yeah. And it even sounds like me. How did
I know it's so good. It's so funny.
It even sounds
like this is who says to me all the time, she's like, why are you so friendly? She's like one of these business. I talk to people at Starbucks when we were trying to get on the cruise ship, and I'm talking to like whatever, and I'm like talking. She's like, why are you talking to
Ask Nan how many times I left her at immigration. I just kept walking.
I was annoyed. He has to see my passport. So I flip my passport and I'm like, FBI.
I walked through immigration with my boarding pass and my ID and kept going. Nan's having a whole lunch with these people. I gotta tell you, I like to talk to people.
So
that's awesome, Jay.
I'll give it to you. All right.
So
what are we gonna say?
We something fell into our laps in the middle of this this experiment that we both jumped on.
Yeah.
And we're not expecting anything crazy.
No.
But when the results came through, we were like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I did it first. And
plot twist.
I did it first, and I was like, I got to tell you something. You're the only one that I'm telling this to. And then I showed her the results, and she was like, oh my God. So then she did it, and she sent me her thing. And I was like,
oh my God.
So go ahead.
How should we explain what this is? Okay.
Well, you should say how I knew about it because of the person you were talking about.
Okay. And so that's how so we both knew about it from the same thing. Yeah. So a while back, there was a TikTok with Leslie Jones, and she was on the Jimmy Fallon show. And Jimmy Fallon was talking to her about, she did this thing. And what it was she set off to somewhere and she did her soulmate sketch. And the man that came, as her exact words were like, this man, he's like, look at this man. I would break this man. This man should just deliver my Amazon packages. So Nan and I went, well, that's a fun idea. Let's add it to our podcast.
Yep.
So we both sent away for our soulmate sketches.
Okay.
And then we got them back.
And
that's when it got funny.
Now, here's the best part. This is what I love. is that we're going to show you the sketches and you're going to have to tell us whose
is whose.
soulmate is whose.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, you ready? So I'm going to share the screen, everyone.
Yep. This is going to be amazing.
All right. Are you ready?
Yep. Let's
But
do
did
it.
you already remove your names off the documents? Oh, mercy.
Whose is whose?
Oh, cool. You're the left.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you think Nan is the right?
All right. So when you're saying left, right, when we're looking at it, it's from our monitor. What we're seeing, it's not flipped, right? I just want to be clear.
I don't know. I'm going to say color or black and white.
Color.
Color is who?
Cool.
Okay.
Color is Koo. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna put mine out here. So my soulmate sketch looks like OK Cupid guy.
Yes.
I don't
Which
know
is free. He looks like this picture.
Yes.
Which one?
Black and white.
Black and white.
Oh, was I right?
Yes, you were right.
All right, wait. So, Sarah, let's go. So let's broaden this. Do you think that the Koo's soulmate looks like anybody
familiar.
that you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Who?
Me.
the best part was Koo sent this to me, and I said, "Your soulmate is Sir,"
And that's exactly why I said Koo.
So here's what's even better. Koo, you going to show them the next picture?
So I'm not gonna lie and say that I was trying to deny this fact.
This girl is in denial.
Listen, your face, you. When I said that one was yours, you were like,
stop reading my. So I have sent this picture. People who don't even really know you, said it was you.
Lorraine, who has saw you on FaceTime one time. She's like, "That's John." You got to show him the other picture, though.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to do that on this. Hang on.
Well, stop your share and then pull up the other one, I think.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So how much did this cost?
It's like $30.
Yeah. More if you wanted it in color.
I wanted it in color.
Yeah, but it's not just the picture. They actually give you a whole.
So I'm going to tell you that this is when I gave up hope in trying to explain. And
yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, it's you. So I'm going to tell you for weeks, Jay.
Died.
I'm like, no, it's not.
Yep. And it's been and so we go on and I'm
now
like,
I know why you wanted a lap dance for singing Kokomo. Now I know.
Right.
No, that's just because that would be entertaining. The two have nothing to do with each other.
Exactly.
And just so you know, since you brought it up, I did Kokomo and we have video proof.
Yep. We have evidence. We have video evidence. But I just want to say also, you can have soulmates that aren't sexual.
Yes, let's be clear.
And all of that. So, soulmates, but it's just funny
in many forms. But it was fun because I literally got it and I said, "You are got." I'm like, "Universe, this isn't funny."
Yeah, I died, and I said, "I'm like, your soulmate is Sir."
Yeah, I didn't tell her anything. I just sent it to her, and she just called me. She's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Don't say it."
That's funny.
But yeah,
great. So it was a lot of fun.
I actually went, "Universe, Mom, I don't like this joke."
It was, oh my God, we still laugh. We were still laughing about it on the cruise.
Well, so now you got to take the guy you found and put his picture next to that one.
We do, but
send it back and say, "Can I get a refund, please?"
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we have been waiting to show you because it has been first of all, we were dying that we even did it. We were like,
No, I think that's cool.
It was actually cool. And the thing is like because when I sent mine, I sent it to her and she's like, that looks just like OK Cupid guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, it's so bizarre. This is some weird stuff. And so then she did it. And then when she sent me a picture of you,
I was hoping that it was going to be Robert Downey Jr. and then I just knew my life
that
would
wouldn't
be
have been good. But yeah.
Sorry, instead you got a nightmare instead.
Yeah.
You're not a nightmare.
You can be a pain in the butt, but you're not.
I love you.
Yeah.
So I think your experiment was fan-fabulous, I'll be honest. I think the experience is something that that you could replicate, that you could do with others who are challenged by the dating. But also I think I want to cue into that relationship with an application that we have and the seriousness. When we actually say that we're going to do something, we need not to take things so seriously all the time, right? Because, you know, that approach really is what's devastating. And it traumatizes a lot of people. And it also validates for them the negative thoughts they have about themselves.
Yeah.
And it torpedoes people's ability to want to be seen, to be out, to even go on a date, you know. So I think moving forward, I think this sort of activity would be a great activity for somebody to do who's having a very stressful time on these dating apps, because you need to relinquish control. And you shouldn't be checking it all the time or responding right away or whatever. So if that's going to teach you what that behavior should be, because it's not you whose profile you're controlling, it's somebody else's, right? Is the same way you need to approach it again when you do it again after that, to help them, you know, reset, you know, the cycle. Because I think that's what I've learned from your experience too, of how powerful it can be. And just sharing your nightmares earlier, to my earlier question, is exactly what I expected to happen. But the transformation that the two of you have had, and the other learning that you've been able to pull in to really understand and grow from this experience, I think was a model for others. And I think people will really get a lot out of this series.
I do want to say, for any of our listeners that are thinking about trying this, make sure the other person is someone that you
trust.
You know, so I think that's the other key point to point out, is that I trust Nan with my life.
Right. So. I think a lot of people might have this. A lot of people might have this question. Did you exchange each other's secret photos to send people, or was the challenge pure? So the challenge was pure. Was you had no other kind of X-rated photos, which I think is also a really good thing to do, because we can be pressured into doing that sometimes on these applications.
Absolutely.
And you didn't have that media to send, so your response would naturally be, "I'm sorry, but I'm not comfortable with that."
Right.
Right.
The most I did was send a hug. OK Cupid guy is a hugger. And that was very apparent in my conversations with him.
Very much.
So I would send hugs.
Yeah. He knew what his love language was, which was impressive. So yeah. And I will say that when you talk about being a slave to the app, I will tell you that before. Yes, I was a slave to the app. And I have it set that, you know, like I get notified. And to be honest with you, I still haven't gone on to read my profile, even though I'm signed in on the app under me. I never bothered to go in to read it, because one, we said that we couldn't, and two, we were gonna. I wanted to hear it. I didn't want to ruin it. I wanted to hear it. But it has been nice to be like, oh, this one likes you, and it's just like, all right, you know. And that is different, because then if I saw that, if it was pinging Like, and I thought I'd be on there looking, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't go on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
go
get
on, I like maybe just to kind of clean it out a little bit,
But
but
before you would have.
I would absolutely, I would, that thing would be like tied
Morning,
and I
noon,
would
and
have been
night.
banging out
Morning, noon, and
a
night.
message.
Yep.
Yeah. So I agree that you do become a slave to the dating app, because I can say that I was that. I was a slave to dating apps. And so by not having any type of control over my app, I had no choice. Like, I couldn't go check on it because this is what we said we would do.
Right. I'm glad that we didn't break
Yeah.
that, because hearing it directly from you, John, was probably the only way I would have wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
I think that was the better way. And I think what this experiment in total did for both of us is realize, hi, it's coming again. It's going to happen again. That you were right. And that we are two amazing females who deserve nothing but love and happiness and respect in the dating world.
And to be honest, is that something that you've always said to us? It is something you've always said to us. And it took me a really long time. Yep.
I remember I used to tell you, get off of it, stop thinking of it. And it was like, you wanted me to, it felt like that you thought I wanted you to become a nun. And that's not true.
Yeah.
Because I think.
Well, that was more Koo, but.
Well, the extended learning here is this, is that the two of you had successful dates with people who are really good people. And this is not an accident.
No.
So the only persons that we can blame for our past, as we term it, failures or the deadbeats that we would meet, is because of our unhealthy relationship with the app and how we approach the dating world online. Okay?
I would also add in.
Watch yourselves.
Yep.
You've had the success. This is the recipe for success, right? Not the other way around.
Right.
So it took this experiment for us to learn that we were doing it wrong the whole time.
I'm also going to throw out mindset.
Yes.
On how a mindset on how we felt about ourselves and stuff. And this is what Koo, how much have I said it during this season? I said, you expecting people to bring in the happiness, whether you're in a relationship, friendships, anything like that, you expecting people to make you happy is an unfair expectation, because you actually need to be happy within yourself. People come into your life and they can complement your happiness. They can complement your joy. They can complement your love. But if you don't have that for yourself, and you're expecting other people to provide that for you, it is never going to work out. And who said that? Coach said that. Coach said that.
That session we had in October, where I'm not gonna lie, I knew I was in trouble from the moment you said Kamari. Like you said Kamari, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You didn't yell at me, but you did yell at me. Like, you were yelling at me. And I left that meeting, one, feeling better. But two, I don't know. I think I didn't like that you were yelling at me. But I heard you.
Yeah.
And I came out of that meeting and like a switch flipped.
Yeah.
And I haven't been back since that meeting. Yeah. So one reason is I wasn't having that meeting again with you.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
One and done. One and done.
I just want you to know that when John uses our proper names, we're in trouble.
Awful.
Yeah, I think, this has been I think it's been very rewarding to watch this happen, and to also watch the transformation that's taking place as well through the experiment. You guys came up with an idea and you ran for it. And I think this is what I love about the two of you, is that the two of you really do work well together. That's number one. And the two of you really have found a profound sense of joy in these interactions and what you're doing. And I hope it continues. I do. And I really wish all the best in the future seasons of podcasts. I'm sure I'll be a guest again.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is an annual thing now.
Yeah, I think what the big takeaways are those reflective moments about our relationship with the apps, our mindset towards it, which was a good, valid point. But it's easier, Nan, when you're responding to somebody who's responding to your friend, for you to respond back. And you were, both of you always approach those responses with smiles, sort of, not stress about how they're going to respond. You didn't care how they were. You were just saying, if I were my friend, this is my response to this. And you walked away and didn't think about it again, right? But when you're in the driver's seat, it's different. And you need to create boundaries to allow yourself not to care or care in the same way that you approached each other's profiles when people were responding and so forth. Because, remember, I did tell you that in the beginning. I said, you need to focus on you. Okay? Not the other person for however long they're sitting on the message. It doesn't matter. It's not a measure of their attention to you, or if they're married. It's not. That's all hogwash. Okay? That's assumption making. And we know the 4 agreements.
We don't make assumptions.
Don't make assumptions. Don't take things personally. Oh, you don't like me? That's okay. You have bad taste.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
You don't like me? That's okay. I'm going to sleep just fine tonight.
That's fine.
That's right.
I'm going to sleep real good. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
So I hope it boosts you in here and catapults you, but you also have to recognize that confidence, right? That you were able to have being in each other's shoes, if you will, is the confidence we need in this arena, because we're only going to find the ducks on the ground if we feel that way about ourselves. And now you've experienced perhaps an eagle, maybe in Nan's sense, a vulture, just looking for a snack, but whichever's available. But I don't want to underestimate his transparency with you.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to underestimate the fact that, maybe Evelyn or whoever it was, whoever he was with, didn't pan out. But you don't know that either.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also important to notice that maybe Ellen, whatever her name was, maybe she wasn't you.
Right.
Well, let's be clear. There's only
Well, she
one.
wasn't.
The world can't handle 2 of this.
But here's the good thing about this, man, is the ball's in your court.
Yeah.
So you can make him sweat it a little bit, or you could say, okay, what are you doing this week? And just try to see if you could carry on. Because it's, you have to also understand too that you weren't committed to one another. And I hate to say it, but you know very damn well that when you are dating somebody, you're talking to 10 others in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So let's not, let's call a spade a spade. Let's be realistic. Let's not be, hypocritical in any sense. No, the man seems like he's a decent guy. And you know what? In life, I prefer a decent person over, somebody who just tells me what I want to hear.
And I've never have I said through this whole thing that I have never said anything bad about him. The only thing I said was that I was disappointed. I wish you had just chosen to have a phone chat with me. Why don't you just call me? It's totally okay. But then you wonder if he chose this way because of past experiences.
It probably was.
So.
But past experiences would have left him to ghost you.
Yes.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not mad. It's just like one of these things I said to Koo. I'm like, huh. So.
What if you scared him? I know it sounds stupid, but he had a momentary, like too good to be true. I mean, at this point, you're going to do what you're going to do as far as talking to him and figuring out. And, if you need me, I think you have my number.
I've got you. I have been with you. You have been with me every step of the way and just talking it out. And even because I didn't even, when he had sent that text before my birthday, I didn't even respond to it right away.
Yeah, you didn't.
I waited hours because I was like, and then Koo's like, well, I would block him and stuff. And I was like, but and I said to her, I'm like, but it's like, I'm not even mad because I want him to be, if he wasn't happy, like, then that's what I want. I want people to be happy. And it really, truly was just the motive that he chose to communicate that. But I can see that maybe he had an expectation, that an experience where people have, women have probably said some not great things. Yeah. So
I have one last thing to say as we come to the end of this episode. A lot of people thought that Nan and I were a little bit crazy when we decided to do this podcast. You are excluded from this, Jay, because you were actually really supportive when we decided that we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And this episode is our 1 year anniversary.
It's a 1 year, sir.
Woo! 1 year.
1 year later.
So that's the other special day detail today.
Yes. Today.
So we're not. So it's okay that I slept through the first scheduled podcast meeting.
I'm not gonna lie.
We wouldn't have been able to do it this day. I'm teasing. That I went out. I went out the night before because I needed to get out, and I never woke up for the filming. Oh my god.
Yeah, John chose violence that day.
I chose violence,
and
I'm so glad that
so many phone calls, text messages, FaceTimes, but it wasn't just me. Boy, John missed a lot of things with his family that day.
Yeah, I missed a lot of things that day.
A lot of things. So
you know what? In hindsight, and I'm gonna say hindsight because I think Nan knows that I was upset.
I was very upset.
Well, I felt bad and I apologize profusely.
Yeah. You did. Yeah. But nothing, forget me. You had bigger problems.
Definitely. But what was so funny was he's like, I can meet into it. I'm like, I'm at the airport.
I think I had therapy.
And he's like, well, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm picking up a friend. Well, let's do it this day. I'm like, who and I are on a cruise ship. Like, oh my God.
But anyway.
Yeah. But today we are so excited. Nan, I have loved every moment and I listened to the podcast multiple times.
Yep.
And I recently had listened to the first one, and to hear them now and to hear how much we have grown on the mic with each other, in how we speak about things. It's been a wonderful learning process, and I have enjoyed every second of this with you, and I look forward to our second year.
I have to say that what started off as a conversation on the very first time that we physically met, that's what's so crazy, was that we met on TikTok, and we love sharing that. And then we met for the first time person to person in 2021.
August of
2021.
And in April of 2022, we went live.
Yeah. And it was just talking and having a conversations about dating and stuff, and we were having similar ones. I'm like, we should do a podcast. And then what talked into it, we just made it a reality. And we've had a huge learning curve and things like that.
Sure.
But I agree. There is nobody else I would want to do this journey with than my Koo. And
no
it
one
has
else.
been amazing. Our friendship just keeps growing, and we're silly. And yeah, I would die for you. I'd die for Sir Tara. I'm short, but I'm sure I can cover his vital organs.
I know. Well, just to be clear, I know I said I trust Nan with my life, but John, I trust you with my life as well. So,
yeah. And Sir already knows. He saved mine.
So we both have learned so much, and it has been helpful in so many areas.
Absolutely.
Well, it's applied knowledge. You can apply it in every dimension of your life. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah.
Yep.
So happy anniversary, Nan.
Right. Happy anniversary.
Yay. Also, we want to thank John and SLC86 because he has believed in this, and he has actually sponsored us for 2 seasons now. We hope that he will sponsor us for another season.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Maybe if you invite me to another one.
Listen, I already have the next one in mind because I didn't ask you something, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, that was a good question, but yeah, we definitely. I'm
gonna hold it.
Listen, I came prepared today. So
you did.
You told me to come prepared.
I did.
Yeah, we did.
With reflective questions so that we can wrap this up, and then I hijacked your plans.
You did. No, he didn't even kinda. He just did because I said, because I said to him yesterday, I was like,
See, I want you all to know that I noticed that. I'm like, God, he's in like serious mode.
Yep.
I saw it. I just didn't realize what it was.
Right. But yeah, so yeah.
You ask and you shall receive. That's it.
Yeah.
You said you wanted me to prepare and have questions, and I did.
I love it. Thank you so much because
you
ask the questions that we don't ask each other, and this is about everybody getting to know everybody, and we want to be
also the listeners too.
I want to be as transparent as I can. I want to be transparent, and I'm, as it is one of my affirmations, I am best when I am transparent.
Yep.
This is a great opportunity, so I do appreciate you coming prepared, sir.
I also think that by doing this, it has opened us up to being vulnerable and authentic and sharing things that we're sharing to millions of people, and we're like, who knew that would feel so okay,
yeah, I know, especially when years ago with how you good. Okay, can you speak a little bit, please? Like, what does good mean?
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't help me. And now, look at you go.
Yeah, you can't shut us up.
When I was a child, we weren't allowed to answer good. If my mom asked us how we were and we said good, she's like, that's not an answer.
Yeah. Good, Mom.
Yeah, just to be clear, I've been hearing that my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it just transferred from mom to you.
That's true.
But yeah.
Transferred from mom to your soulmate.
Yep.
See, I've been living with this for about a month or 2 now.
Yeah, you're still gonna live. Yeah, she's gonna print it on a poster and put it on the wall.
I've been living with this for a month or 2. So
yep.
Welcome.
Yep.
All right.
And as I said, he can be your soulmate, but John and I are like brother and sister with how we are. So it's very much,
I don't know, John. I like to make John sweat. John,
Yep.
You want me to do that? I'll do it. What do I get for it?
Nan, can you help me out?
Oh, no, she can't, because it's going to be between. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap for season 2 and year 1.
Yep.
John, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love having you as a guest,
It's great to be here.
So if you want to know more about us, you can check out our website, which is www.topsyturvydatingcurvy.com. You can email us at
podcastkoo.nan@gmail.com.
check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, TikTok, we're everywhere.
Yep.
Thanks for hanging out with us. See you soon. Smooches and hugs, guys. Bye.
Later.
I said I like it like that.
Yay.
I said I like it like